Welcome to Gene and Mike do the New York Times crossword.
Hi, I'm Jean.
And I'm Mike. And today we are doing the crossword for Thursday, November 7th, 2024. Did you do the crossword?
I certainly did.
And were you certainly impressed?
I thought it was extremely clever.
Okay.
Just a very unique theme.
Yes.
And of course, it was a Thursday, so there's kind of a gimmick to it.
Right.
I thought it was very clever.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Well, now that you've whetted our appetites, perhaps you could feed us with an explanation, so to speak.
Okay. Well, there were 4 sets of shaded squares in conjunction with each other, just adjacent to each other. And some of them were going down and some were going across. And it turned out then in each of those, if you answered the puzzle correctly, you got the word to. For example, the first 2 squares in 16 across were shaded, and the clue there was made do, which was to pay, which was an extremely clever,
clever
answer.
Going to highlight that one.
But anyway, it was T-O. And then 36 down was Crooner Mel. And the first 2 again were shaded, and that was Mel Torme, so T-O there. And then we had 28 down, which was how ballerinas often dance, and that was on toe, and the T-O was shaded. And then finally, at the bottom of the puzzle, 66 across. Likewise, I do too, and the T-O of 2 was shaded. Okay, so you had that, and then the answers adjacent to each one of those 2s needed that 2 in order to answer it correctly. And I figured this out on the first one that I came across, which was 3 down, and the clue was freedom per Janis Joplin. And if you filled in it correctly, the answer there was nothing lose. And I'm like, oh, that's not the way the song goes. I remember the song was me and Bobby McGee, and it was freedom's only.
Freedom's just another word for nothing left to lose.
Nothing left to lose. Well, you get the nothing, and then if you go to the left, there's that 2. Right next to the G, you go to the left, and there's 2, and then the O of 2 is adjacent to the word lose, the L of lose. So there you've got it. Nothing, you go left, 2, lose. So, and in the case of the next one, it was adjacent to the 2 from to pay, was adjacent to 18 across, fills in with the latest, which was right below it. And the answer there was brings a speed. But if you insert the 2, you've got brings up to, and then speed. So it was above it, so you brings up to speed. And of course, 27 down, not beat around the bush. The answer was get the point, but it was adjacent to a 2, and of course the 2 was to the right, so it was get right to the point. And finally, the last one was below the clue, 61 across, result in a photo finish, and the answer there was come the wire, or come down to, and then pick up the wire. So, I thought that was rather ingenious.
Yes. It took me a while to figure out what was going on, and you know, at that, whenever I'm doing a rebus and haven't, or some sort of a gimmick and haven't figured it out yet, it always feels like there's some sort of major slog going on.
Oh, yeah.
And I usually get the feeling there's got to be something else that I'm not seeing here.
I've had that feeling.
Of course, in this case, the thing that I wasn't seeing was grade squares, so I ought to have figured those had to do something with it, but...
Well, like I said, I knew that lyric was nothing left to lose. So I'm like, oh, that's not going to fit in there. And then it turned out what did fit in there was nothing lose with 2 to the left.
Mm-hmm.
So nothing left to lose.
I think that was the most definitive of the clues. The one bring up to speed. I mean, that's fills in with the latest. I was thinking it had something to do with spill the tea or something like that.
Well, that's what I thought originally, because I thought, well, that might fit, but it actually didn't.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, they were all common phrases. Brings up to speed, gets right to the point, comes down to the wire, and then, of course, nothing left to lose.
Right.
But they were all common.
Yeah, that 61 across was result in a photo finish, come down to the wire.
Mm-hmm.
But the one that, because it was a lyric, it sort of, that really sort of pinned that down, as it were.
Yes. Uh-huh.
So.
Mm-hmm. The one I had the most trouble with was the last one, because I didn't read the clue correctly for 63 down. L'état à Louis the 14th. And I didn't know what that meant. So I thought, well, Louis XIV was a king, so I thought it was Roy. Doesn't that mean king?
Ra, uh-huh.
Uh-huh. But it turned out to be moi.
Right.
What does that mean, l'état?
L'état means the state. The state to Louis XIV. Me. Is because he said, I am the state.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Well, anyway, I had core down to the wire, and thought, like, that doesn't make sense. So then I thought, well, maybe 61 down was wrong. The clue there was not trans, and I had cis.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, well, I don't know what else it would be.
Right.
I was thinking 4 down to the point or to the wire, or just 4 down to the wire.
Mm-hmm.
But no, it was come down to the
wire. Come down to the wire. Mm-hmm. Well, I had a small mistake with 4 across. The Joy of Blank, the Simpsons episode about a cult. And I thought, so there's the book, The Joy of Sex, and so I thought, but there were 4 letters there, so I thought it was going to be cute, because I had the S, the E, and the C, and I thought, it's sex, S-E-C-S, like the abbreviation of seconds in the plural.
Uh-huh.
And that would mean that 7 down, the pink-colored euro banknote was the sen.
Oh.
And I thought, whatever. It's sort of like it's a banknote. It's in Europe. They could call it anything. But it turned out it was the joy of sect.
Right.
Singular,
mm-hmm.
which sort of you lose some of the the rhyme there when you phrase it like that, but I guess it made more sense for the episode.
Right.
And then
about a cult.
Yes.
So yeah. Mm-hmm.
But then that meant that 7 down was 10, which makes more sense as a pink-colored euro banknote.
Definitely, yes.
You already mentioned toupee. I would just want to mention it again because that is such a great clue. May do toupee.
Yes.
6 down was also, I thought, pretty good. Rave party ? Was a critic.
Yes. That was excellent.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And I just like saying 8 across, not genuine ersatz.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a great word. I don't use that word, ersatz.
I know. I need to try and work it into casual conversation.
Yes, definitely.
In a non-ersatz way.
Exactly.
Let's see. 10 down. I thought 10 down was interesting. It was... No, wait. I'm sorry. 10 down was the topping-laden pizza variety. Oh, yeah, actually, that is right. The topping-laden pizza variety was supreme.
That's correct.
And then we had that along with 19 down, pretty close to it. I Will Survive Grammy winner was Gaynor.
Yes.
And so I thought the song I Will Survive, I could actually hear it in my head.
Oh, yes.
And I was trying to identify who's singing that. And I was, the only thing I could think of was Tina Turner.
Oh, no. It was Gloria Gaynor.
Right. But before Gloria Gaynor, I think Diana Ross sung it.
Oh, really?
And yes, and she was of the Supremes.
Yes.
So I thought there was a nice juxtaposition between Supreme and Gaynor.
Well, Gloria Gaynor was the one who made it the hit.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only version I remember.
I better double check this, because now I'm having slight doubts as to Diana Ross. It was I Will Survive.
You sure it was the same song?
It was, yes.
Okay.
It had a lot more kick to it when Gloria was singing it.
Oh, definitely.
But it was pretty good when Diana was singing it, too.
That was the height of the disco era, you know.
Mm-hmm.
That was a great disco song.
Mm.
So.
Let's see if there's anything. So we had 43 across, I thought was nice. Greek language, ? Was bro speak.
Yes, I thought that was funny.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And then I didn't recognize 50 across. Will of the Waltons, Gear.
Will Gear, he played the grandfather.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I loved 48 Down. That was a nostalgic one. Claymation character of old SNL. Mr. Bill. I remember Mr. Bill because he always would go, woo!
Right.
He had that high, funny voice.
That falsetto, yes.
Yeah.
Who voiced that, do you know?
I have no idea.
Oh, okay.
But boy, he was very popular. Mr. Bill.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. We had org with a white rabbit in its logo was PETA.
Yep.
Guess I shouldn't have been too surprised by that. 64 across, the very last down, or 64 down, the 2020 #1 hit for Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion was WAP.
That's right.
I was originally thinking it was going to be War because I had the W and the A, and I thought, well, War sounds like a good name for a song, but it was WAP.
I thought it had a longer name than just WAP. I thought it was WAP something,
Oh,
but maybe not, just WAP.
I don't know. Maybe that's a WAP. I don't know. So 5 down was Everglades Hunter, egret.
Yep.
And I didn't think that an egret was, it's a bird, right?
Yes.
Didn't think it was much of a hunter.
Well, I didn't think so. I mean, it's a fisher.
Okay.
I mean, it eats
So it
fish.
hunts for fish?
Yeah, I mean, we have egrets up here.
Do we? Okay.
Well, during the summer.
I do.
I guess they go down to the Everglades in the winter and fish down there. So.
I'm fond of it as a bird just because it's got the built-in pun, egret. I think it was Frank Sinatra who sang, egrets, I've had a few. I better stop before YouTube comes down on us for violating some music.
That's right.
All right. Well, I think that is it for today. So thanks, everyone, for listening.
Yep.
We will be back again with our cutting-edge analysis of tomorrow's crossword tomorrow.
Bye-bye.